us Eti Noked from Checkmarks, which is a company in Ramat Gan that works with comprehensive software security. And they're going through a hiring push right now, and it's a very exciting product. They're trusted by, and I'm reading this directly just because I can't say it any better, but they're trusted by more than 40% of the Fortune 100 and half of the Fortune 50 companies. So they're very much a big deal, and it's exciting to have them with us, and for Eti to share her expertise with us about communities. So without further ado, Eti, I'll turn this over to you, okay?
Okay, thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
First, I want to say that I'm excited to be here. Sorry if you hear any noises, my children are at home, so I apologize in advance. So as Danielle mentioned, I'm Eti, and I've been working in Checkmarks for the past year and a half, and I will talk to you today mostly about community, my experience with community, how am I involved in the community, and what can you do better to use community to elevate your career. So the agenda for today, so I'm start with introduce myself, who am I and what I'm doing specifically with Checkmarks. Then we'll go over to meet you in a quiz. And then we'll dive to what is community, what are the platforms that we can use, and share some tips. And if you have any questions that you want to share with me, or maybe success stories that you have from your own experience that you want to share with us, this will be great. So who am I? I'm Eti. I'm married to Tomer, and I'm a mother of 3 girls. In my free time, which I don't have a lot from, I like to dive and solve riddles, puzzles, and Lego. I'm also a huge fan of Marvel, and if you could have seen my computer, you would see that it's full with a lot of stickers on it. So this is me, and what I do on a professional career. So I learned applied mathematics and being a software developer for the past 14 years. Before Checkmarks, I've worked in WeWork, HP, Elbit, and basically I've started my professional career in the Israeli military. I've joined Checkmarks a year and a half ago while I was 8 months pregnant. So it's a thing, and it happens. And I joined as a software team leader. And I've built a new team here in Israel for a product that was initially developed abroad. And 4 months ago, I was promoted to lead the entire product unit as a group manager. So a little bit about Checkmarks. Danielle mentioned it, but I want to elaborate a bit. Checkmarks is an Israeli company in the cybersecurity industry, founded 15 years ago. The HQ is here in Israel, and also most of the development. We have our sales, technical support, marketing, and marketing departments in offices around the world. And Checkmarks' mission is to help companies secure the software, and we do it by offering a suite of products that allows customers to find and remediate vulnerabilities in their code, as well as education. We provide a platform to educate the developers, and I would elaborate this a little bit more because this is my product. Our engines, SAS, SCA, and IS, as you see here, allows static code analysis as well as open source and runtime scanning. And the fourth product, code bashing, as I mentioned, is providing a platform with a short, concise, and interactive lessons with code secure best practices and vulnerabilities remediations. This is a lot of word, basically to say that we are teaching software developers how to write secure code so they can prevent the vulnerability from happening in their organization. And also, as you can see here in our website, we have a lot of openings, and I'm inviting you to check this and apply if you wish. Personally, I'm looking for team leader in my group, so I'm very excited to share. Okay, so a little bit about you. I want to get to know you and what you are looking for here. So please open your browser. I'm gonna share in the chat the link. Second.
I shared that.
Okay. So Carol helped me with the facilitating things. So menti.com, this is the code 73742347. And we have the first question. If you can share how many communities did you join, and how many of the communities that you've joined you are actively member. Actively member meaning that you are answering questions, you're posting some question or stories from your own. So you need to choose one from the right half and the second half, how many of you joined and how many of the communities that you've joined you actively participated in. So if you can, cool. So we have one participant who joined us. You can see who is that. And the second one. To choose two answers. From the first half, how many communities did you join, and how many you actively participated in? Daniel, how many people are we? How many people
are currently, I think we are 9, but we just lost one, so we're 8. But people typically filter in a little bit later. So here we go.
Okay, writing it down and we'll refer it later. %, 50%, and one not active in any of them. And most of you joined up until 10 communities. Communities, by the way, can be either professional or personal. It can be a community around diving for me, motherhood, hiking, whatever makes interesting. So
Gary, hold on one moment. Okay. Sorry about that.
So I can see most of you joined up till 10 communities. 2 of you didn't participate in any of them, and one is participating 50%, which is awesome. Let's start the new one. What do you currently do? Do you searching for a new position, like actively searching? Do you searching for a new position while working? Or maybe you're working and not looking for any change at the moment? Okay, so the consensus here. Cool. Let's move. I'll get to that answers later in the tips. I want to start with the definition of what community is. And when searching the web, this is what comes up. a unified body of individuals with things in common. I'm sure you can find other topics that you can include here, but I think you can we can agree on a community is a group of people gathering together to discuss, share, or something their mutual interest. As I mentioned, it can be a professional group, but it can be also a personal interest or something that you want to share with others. So I've chosen to indicate some of the platform you can connect and find communities in. Facebook and meetups are probably the biggest or the platform that I would recommend to start with. Facebook has more than 10 million groups in it and more than billion users. So it's a large group of people that you can connect with. And you can find there, as I mentioned, professional communities, but not just that. Meetup is mostly professional. Like the name indicates, it's around meetups and conferences. Interesting thing is COVID made them evolve a bit, and now you can find their online meetups as well, not just conferences like in the offices of companies. We have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is has smaller communities, mainly emphasize on self-brand and not networking. For those of you searching for a job, this is the place to be. But there are some initiatives there that's worth mentioning, like Just Like. Just Like is an initiative that started to help juniors find their first job by taking advantage of the networking of more experienced people, developers. By tagging Just Like, it's in Hebrew, cool alike, and you just help people that their network is smaller than you, just get to a wider audience. So it's very cool, and you can see a lot of people sharing this information. So if I can hire someone and I just share this post or comment about it, I help him expose himself to a greater audience. Twitter is mostly for chatting and sharing thoughts, but you can follow interesting people or communities there. And also Clubhouse is quite new. It's like Twitter, but with just the audio. We can consider it like a live podcast, and people using it as a platform for broadcasting and share ideas. Again, it's not a platform aimed to connect with others, but it can be used to hear interesting things and get an opportunity to share your 2 cents on subjects, and also get to know people in the community. The second half of this slide, which I want to share with you, it's some initiative that I took part of it. But is a community for technical women. They have a lot of programs you can participate in, and I was participating in some of them as a mentor and some of them as a participant. I also find myself mentoring some through both programs, and some like I use the term freelance, but it's volunteering. So and I help and consult a manager with the day-to-day challenges. And not as fancy as it sounds, it's just talking with other managers and help them with some issues or problems they want to raise. SheCode is also a community for women. Was founded with the goal of reaching 50% women in software developers within the next decade in Israel. So they have a lot of programs to teach women how to code, and also to step up and build their personal brand. I'm part of a group that created a new program for tech writers. So we will have more women in tech sharing their ideas through blogs. And last but hardly least is my newest baby. And we have a new club in Clubhouse called Coffee and Code. It's in Hebrew, which gather and talk about a lot of professional and technical interesting topics around software development. We meet once a week, Tuesday at 9 a.m. And in Clubhouse. And also our mission is to create like a welcoming community and sharing ideas, thoughts, concerns, and talk about everything with its community or panelists and so on. Every other week, we have an interview there with someone from the community, and in the other session, it's a panel around a specific topic. And I welcome you to join 2 days from now for an interesting interview. And so now that I've thrown everything on you, I want to start with the question, what's in it for me? Or what's in it for you?
Ati?
Yes.
Could I just ask you one question? Well, a couple of questions. Is it possible to send the link for Clubhouse after this?
Yeah, you probably the Clubhouse works as you need an invitation. So you can ping me. I have, I think, 3 or 4 invitations to give. Okay. And if not, we will ask the others in the community. So you can send a private message to me via LinkedIn or something with your phone number, and I will send it to you.
Okay, amazing. And then just for the questions in the chat, we'll have about 10 or 15 minutes for Q&A after Ati's talk, and she'll be happy to answer then. So just if you all can kind of pause until then, I know it's very exciting. All right, Ati.
We can address it like afterwards, so we can write it down now and we'll go into the questions. Okay, so why do I share it, and why am I even like here today? It's not just about branding. It's not share what you know what I'm doing. It's just for me to share that it's possible for everyone. I also have my day job, my children that consume more than a major part of my day. But it's still important for me to be part of the community, to volunteer and find some time to give others. It may sound like a cliche, but you can gain so much more from helping others than I could possibly explain in this talk. And my next slide emphasizes this is not just me. When I prepared this talk and wanted to think what I want to share with you, I got curious to see what others think about communities. So I posted the question in my communities and got a lot of feedback from members, and I chose this to share with you. To summarize, most of the feedback that I got, both from people that were actively sometimes discreetly looking for a job, and it doesn't even matter if they are experienced in the field, they are juniors, seniors, or not, or just someone that isn't looking for a job, is happy where they are, but have issues or problems they want to consult with others. Either way, all states they can ask freely and gain so much from partnering to a mentor or a program offered by the community. By the way, even the mentors in the programs that I've mentioned state that they gain much from the program and learn a lot both about themselves, but also about other culture and work processes from companies that they don't work in, like from someone else's experience. These two that I chose, one of them is Oda Khadasha. I don't know how to say it in English.
New immigrant.
New immigrant. Sorry, thank you.
No problem.
So she stated that it's not easy to find a job because you need to understand the culture as well. So part of the interview process, your mentor helped her through the process itself, just to understand the culture and what when people say something, what they mean, So she had a mentor that Israeli mentor that guided her through the process, and that helped a lot. And also, Baot, sorry for using this example all the time, but this is my community. They has a program to help find the next job. So someone said that she was both find the job and also maximize the compensation from the offering that she got. Daniel, I'm thinking out loud. Do you want to go to the tips or just Q&A first? I think.
So do you all have any questions at this time for AT? No?
Something for the chat?
Anyone? So we had a couple of
No, besides the one in this. No, besides the ones that are in the chat right now.
Okay. So just AT, if you don't mind, there is one other resource that I think can kind of be helpful. We tend to also check out the Startup Nation, and they also have a place for communities, which will lead you to a lot of the same groups that, or some of the groups that AT suggested, but that are also very field specific. So I'll put that here. AT, just in terms of, and I know it's very, well, I know it's very field specific, but do you all have any questions about specific groups or things that should be on your radar? You know, things that you all feel like might be helpful that are little hidden secrets there?
Yeah, so I have a list that we're going to share. We have a slide on this, and we're going to share it in the chat, or maybe we'll send it to you, Daniel, so you can reply.
Yeah. So I think at this time we'll just we'll go ahead and we'll start with the tips, and then if you all have any Q&A, we'll ask again in a few minutes.
Cool. Okay. So the reason I've asked you to write how many communities do you take part in, and I was surprised to see the result, honestly, leads me to the first tip. You need to choose quality over quantity, and by that I mean that you need to choose the ones you feel comfortable in and invest your time there. And what leads me to the second tip is be an actual part of the community. This is done by answering questions, raise concerns, share opinions, being an active part of the community. Let others get to virtually know you, and it will make others easier to help you if needed. People love to feel connected, and when you give at least as much as you take, this is what makes the community really strong and meaningful. The third bullet, which I want to ask, and I honestly, I'm born and raised in Israel, so I can't testify for other cultures, but from what I've heard and researched before this talk, it's kind of unique here in Israel. Our culture embraces mistakes. And I'm not saying that we want to make mistake or want to fail, and adding quotes on failure, because we think that as long as you are we're proper with retrospective and you can make sure you're wise and learn from these mistakes, it's not a mistake. It's a milestone to your path and success. And you often see people share their mistakes and what they think they or others should do to avoid from this mistake from happening again. We are not considering as a failure, as I mentioned, but as a mean to an end, which the end is probably the successful path on your career. So by saying don't afraid to make mistakes, I say I'm referring to you need to speak up. Someone ask a question, you can answer, even if you don't sure 100% sure the your answer is correct. If the community is respectful enough, you will be known about your mistake, and you can also learn from this. No one is going to shout or make you feel awful, but by answering question. And also feel free to ask question and to ask someone who is more experienced for you for help, because it's okay not to know everything, and by asking question we both expanding our own knowledge, but also let others like be part of the community and to speak. Also is a great tool that I've learned is to share your lesson learned. Lesson learned indicates retrospective or a thoughts that I've made or someone made on their mistakes and what they've learned from this mistake or issue or something. And by sharing this with the community, you are both emphasize or talking about the path that you've taken by learning from your mistake, but also you're sharing and make others know about this mistake and maybe prevent the same issue happens in their organization, which is very powerful. And so this is like, if I want from you to take from this talk, this is the 3 tips for you. Participate, choose, like pick the communities that you want to participate in and proactively participate, and don't afraid to ask questions and make mistakes. The next slide is the one that you were asking about. This is Carol gathering a lot of communities in Israel, and some of them just for women, some of them from new immigrants. See, I've learned. And some of like general software development communities, and you can join them all. It's fine. You don't need to like to join only 2 and 3. You can join every community or every open Facebook group that you have, but don't forget to pick those who really matter to you, and to make an impact, to answer questions, to help others. And I'm sure it will help you also find your way, like in this small community here in Israel. The software development community in Israel, especially in the center, but not just here, is very, very small. So you used to, you can talk with someone from the Facebook group and then meet him in a meetup and maybe someday work with him together. And the last tip that I didn't write, but since most of you are actively searching for a job, I have one recommendation about sending resumes. If you find a position that interests you, try to search in LinkedIn for someone that works in the company itself. People often get compensated by sending friend bring friend. I'm not sure if it's the right
referrals.
So people get compensated by getting referrals, and if the people actually hired in the company. But it's not just this. Sending your resume from a person that already worked in a company is much stronger, and the hiring manager will treat differently to this resume. So I really recommend you to move to use referral as a way to get into companies. This is what I had. Sorry. We will see.
Amazing. Does anyone have any questions for AT? Not so much. Are any of you active in these groups that were mentioned in the previous slide? Ati, are you able to go back to that for a moment? Are you all familiar with these, or are you active in any of them? No. Okay, well, I think that this is a really great resource and definitely very insightful about the power of community. In terms of what Ati touched on with mentors, I think that this is one of the things that the Gvahim mentors are really, really strong in, is helping to get you connected and give you that community that you don't have necessarily in Israel because you've just immigrated here. And the whole goal of this is to really encourage you all to understand the power of what a community can bring you, and the power also of a referral once you've had the opportunity to speak with somebody, and you know, you can wind up working with them in the future. But you know, we always say, like, the best thing to do is to be proactive in your job search. And if you see somebody who works at one of your dream companies in one of these groups, you know, to reach out and see if they have 10 or 15 minutes of their time that they can give you for advice for a coffee meeting. And that can really lead to a lot of powerful connections. I see that Patricia has her hand raised. Do you have a question, Patricia?
Yeah, hi. I
Amazing.
would like to know if you have a list of like this one for UX communities in Israel.
There is, I know some. I can ask the UX guys from our company. I know there were a conference last week. I'm not sure if you are aware of, but also conferences are a great way to meet people, like, and to meet others and to connect. I will ask, and if I have some other groups, I will share. So,
thank you.
Thanks for the list. Some of these groups I didn't know.
Amazing. Are there any other questions? No?
Daniel, you mentioned just to approach someone and ask for like a coffee, and so COVID make us like virtually, so it's much easier.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Find time for this.
Exactly. So as long as you know, I think one of the things that's very important is, if you're the person who's approaching a potential connection, to be a little, you know, when you can, flexible with your time. And with everything being virtual, it just makes it so much easier. You know, there isn't the commitment of, you know, taking a 30-minute bus, or, you know, finding the time to absolutely clear everything out of the way. So I think that there are a lot less, there are less barriers for these opportunities for community to actually happen. And that's what we've found. So I would also take this opportunity to encourage you all to be active in our Gvahim Tech group. There are a lot of really great conversations that happen there about you know, things that I'm not an expert in at all, right? So, you know, just different issues that come up with different programming languages and advantages for different types of contracts and offers. And we've seen it a lot, that through the connections that the Olim have built with their mentors and with our team, that, you know, the offers that they've gotten really reflect their market value and expertise, which I think is very, very important. So also to take that into consideration here, I think is very important. Okay, well, I think
I have a question that I would like to know your opinion. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't want to bother you, or I don't want to bother a person that I don't really know. I don't feel comfortable to bother, you know, like usually Olim, we can say we're more polite. So we are thinking that we are bothering others. So I would like to know your opinion about that. Do you think it's like bothering? People are bothering, you know, you if they talk to you either through Facebook, Clubhouse, or Meetup, Ati?
So just like two parts of this answer. The first one is, I think by sending an asynchronous message, I can direct or answer to this message whenever I want. It's not have to be like right now and or when I am in a meeting or with the girls or something. I will probably answer when the moment feels right. And the second part is we are not just known as direct or rude in Israel. So you don't need to afraid like to approach. If someone doesn't want to answer, you won't answer. And you can even send another message just to make sure the other person saw the message. Like, I don't want to bother, but if you had the chance to read my message. So if I just miss the message because my inbox is full, I would probably say, "Oh, sorry, I missed your message. I will answer you in a day, a week, or hour, whenever I have time." But a person that doesn't want to be approached to won't answer. It's simple as that. So you don't need to be shy or to just ask someone a question and sending a direct message in any media. I just assume that when a person wants to answer and help others, he will do it, and if not, he won't. By the way, if a person did help you in some way, maybe acknowledge this. Just tell him your advice helped me find a job. Your advice maybe helped me understand how to approach an interview. So it's like the feedback that is actually was able to help you makes the helper feel much better and also want to help more because you want to like to help others as well. There is like the imposter syndrome that you probably heard and hear about. And when you've been acknowledged that you actually was able to help someone by advising what to do or just sharing your own experience, make you a little bit more proud or sure about yourself and your professional tips that you are sharing. So your feedbacks matters as well.
There is an option on LinkedIn that you can thank someone for doing something valuable for you. So it's a good tool to use.
Yeah, and you can also send a private message if you don't want to share it sometimes. It's also fun.
Yeah.
My husband just got just an SMS text from someone that he helped him find the next job, and he was sharing the message without any private information, of course, but it was sharing the information and the text, and was very proud to get a thank you message from someone that he actually was able to help.
Sorry, I want to ask you something. You say that in LinkedIn there is an option like to thank someone. So if, for example, I receive a thank you for helping people, it will be visible in some way?
It was from you for Carol,
like, I think Carol said it, but for both of you, if anyone knows the answer.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah, the thank you feature is like sharing a post and tagging the person who helped you. So it's visible in your feed, and also is in the helper feed. But if you want to just to send a private message, and it's visible just for you too.
In general, if someone helped me, of course, I will thank that person. but I have a few people I help them, and some of them send me thank you, and okay, but if they can like make it public, that also works, because that also improves my visibility in the network.
Yeah, but you can also share it yourself. Like I've just received a thank you note from a person that I was helping with, and just publish it without saying who you helped or what you did. Because some of the people, like if you just help someone in an interview and is searching for a job discreetly, you don't want to like disclose it out loud. This person is looking for a job. But
I get it.
This is kind of bragging. People see it usually not in a very nice way. You know, I'm bragging who I'm bragging to, but
that is why I don't want to say I received some thanks. I will prefer like people giving the thanks input that instead of I saying someone thanking me, because I say if I say that, it will be like bragging.
Yeah, but you
if
don't.
Someone should thanking me, it will be the person. It's not that I am bragging that I help someone. If someone is thanking me.
But you cannot control. So if the person doesn't do that by himself, this is another way you can do. Like it's bragging, but you know, if you are looking for a position that you may need this skill, so it's important for you to share.
Also,
I disagree about bragging, because it's also a passing like the stick. It's serving as example for others, because when you say that someone thanks you, it means that you did something good for others without like expecting for something in return. So it's like a kind of education, like be good yourself, try to help others as well. You can like conduct a message with your post or something like this. It's not just for the sake of like bragging.
So I think my perspective on this is, if you approach it as like, if you're doing it anonymously, right, where you like block out the name and stuff, obviously where you're paying it forward to your community, if you look at it as an investment in the entire community, it's also very positive. And like Carol said, you know, there are positions that you know, this is a skill that you need. And I think that being able to demonstrate that is really wonderful. And also it's a very good feeling to actually be able to give back and to be able to be in a position to help people. It's pretty impactful. So if you look at it that way, I know it might sound like bragging, and maybe it is. It could be philosophically on one hand bragging, and on the other hand, I think you can do it very humbly. So just something to think about. Everybody has their own comfort level with that, but paying it forward to the community is a really great perspective, I think. Awesome.
Great.
So I'm going to do a last call for questions. Carol, you have anything else, Carol or AT?
Nope.
No? Okay, so this is our sign out message always. So as you all know, we're Gvahim Tech, and we work with software engineers and data scientists. It's a free program, and you know, we work with you all to help you get ready for all of the different stages of interviewing, and you know, getting connected in different communities and in Israel in your field. And you know, we go over all of the different cultural aspects of hiring and the actual culture of high tech in Israel. And we're active in Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Jerusalem. Haifa is a new program that I am managing. And so if you have any friends who might be interested, feel free to give them our information, and I'll follow up in the different platforms as well as via email. Thank you again, AT and Carol from Checkmarks, for joining us and for this very important talk. I think that this is a very powerful and very underestimated tool, the power of community. And thank you all for your time and for your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just shared my LinkedIn profile.
Amazing.
To send me an email and private message with your phone number for Clubhouse invites. I think I've sent it to Maria privately by mistake, but I will send it to everybody.
Awesome. We'll make sure to include that in the follow-up as well. All right. Thank you all for your time and have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye.